Hello, everybody. This is the Rotary eClub of Silicon Valley, and we come to you every week with stories of innovation, education, and entrepreneurship. We're a Rotary club, which means we're all about service, service to others, service above self. The whole idea is to make the world a better place. And man, do we have a cool program for you today. Before we get started, I want to introduce the folks we have on the call. Farheen, wave at the camera. Yay. So Farheen is one of our members and here in the Bay Area. Nate wave, right? Nate is normally in Japan, but we've got him in Eastern Canada today because he needed to see a whole lot more snow than he normally sees in Nagoya. And our fearless leader on the program front, Roger Plested in Kamloops, British Columbia. Excellent. My name is Rushton Hurley. I am a former president of the club, and I just love sharing cool stories. And today, for the cool story, we have got Ryan. Ryan is the founder of Magic Wheelchair. Ryan has this amazing story. We caught a little bit of it in a video in one of our meetings a few months ago, and I was so moved by it. I was like, I'm gonna find this guy. I'm gonna find him, right? And so we are going to introduce him to you today, and he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does and what Magic Wheelchair is. And Ryan, with that, I hand it over to you. Welcome. Good to have you.
Thanks for having me on, having Magic Wheelchair on, and allowing us to tell our story. This is how we grow, is people like yourselves that are interested in telling our story and getting people involved and doing good things. I mean, that's what Magic Wheelchair is all about. Doing epic things for epic kids and families.
Excellent.
I got a little PowerPoint here, and kind of goes through the origin story of Magic Wheelchair, and got some cool pics and all. Magic Wheelchair, it started with me and my family. I have 3 children that were born with a form of muscular dystrophy called spinal muscular atrophy, and this is Bryce right here. This is our he would be number 4. Bryce is 7 years old, and let's see, there we go. So here's Keaton and Bryce, my wife, and myself, and Bryce in mining pod there. So on the screen there, the 2 kids riding the dragon, that's Keaton and Bryce. Keaton's our oldest. He's 13, and Bryce just turned 7. Cute little bugger there. And right there, that is when we officially started Magic Wheelchair. We built Toothless. We started a Kickstarter to fund the build for Toothless, and also as a stretch goal to start a nonprofit where we build costumes for kids all over the global domination. I mean, that's our goal, is to build for every kid in a wheelchair. So this was 2014, and it was just a incredible story. Let me back up though. So the spark of Magic Wheelchair started when Keaton was 3 years old. He had his powered wheelchair at that time. That was his first Halloween, I think. I think he had his powered wheelchair for about a year. And you know, the skills to drive one of those don't come natural. It takes some, just like walking, just like learning to walk. But by Halloween, he was pretty good. And he wanted to be a pirate that year. I wonder if I have a picture of that. I don't think I do on here. I do on my wall. I'll grab it. So he wanted to be a pirate that year, and let me grab it. And he has his wheelchair, and I'm sizing it up, and I'm thinking, man, I love Halloween. First off, I love dressing up, and love dressing my kids up, and obviously, you know, took it to a different level. So we're sizing up his chair, and I'm like, we could dress him up as a pirate, but he's just a pirate rolling around in a wheelchair. So I bet we could build a pirate ship around his wheelchair, and so we did. And it's got sails and ropes, and I'm sure any sailor would be like, those aren't official rope ties, but it was incredible. I mean, we built it. We were living with my parents at the time. Me and my wife built it, and what was, I mean, we were really just building it, or dressing our son up for Halloween. But what happened after that was incredible, because that's really all we were doing is just like any parent dressing their kid up. That's what we were doing. But what we saw when Keaton, we're in the small town in Eastern Oregon called La Grande, and we're on the main strip. At Halloween, the shops open up and you can stop by and get candy, and lots of kids and people out there. And typically what happens when we roll up on scene with wheelchairs is people just, they don't know how to respond. You know, kids especially, it's something that's different, right? And so when we see something different, we kind of freeze up. We don't know what's acceptable. We're so afraid to offend that we don't do anything, right? We kind of stare, and you know, it's not malicious. I think it's just unfortunately how society is when we see something that's different. We rolled up to this playground a few months back, and you know, there's kids playing and having a good time. And as we're rolling up, Keaton and Bryce in their wheelchair, all activity on that playground stopped. I mean, it was surreal. I mean, the kids just stopped playing and stared at our kids rolling up, and then went back to playing. And there was a couple kids that said hello. Some of those kids break through that fear, that barrier. Now going back to the streets of La Grande, when Keaton rolled down the street in that costume, that barrier was gone. Like, people came right up to him and started talking with him, and kids, grown-ups, everybody just came right up to him, and it was a completely different experience for him. And you know, quickly they realized that he's just this regular kid that has a different way of getting around. And as a dad, I remember seeing him off in the distance and getting choked up. It gets me choked up just thinking about it. Finally, you know, people seeing my son, looking past that disability and just seeing this amazing kid. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I thought about other families like ours that would love to have that experience. And so that was the spark of Magic Wheelchair. Now fast forward probably about 7 years, you know, nursing school, having other children. Magic Wheelchair was incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit in 2014. In 2015, we did our first builds. And these right here are 3 of the 8 builds we did that first year. These were all local kids from Eugene to Portland. So that dream of being able to share this experience, it was just incredible how everything fell together. So when I built Toothless, I didn't really know, I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I found the Stan Winston School of Character Arts. They're a special effects school online. Stan Winston is, he's an Academy Award-winning special effects artist, ran a shop for years and years and years, did incredible things like Jurassic Park, Aliens, and Terminator, and Predator, and that's all, and lots of other stuff. I mean, Stan Winston is, I would say, one of the godfathers of modern-day special effects. Just did incredible things and pushed the envelope of what special effects can do. When Stan passed away, his son and son-in-law started the Stan Winston School to teach people that are interested in special effects, make that accessible, and on an online school-based platform. And I saw this foam fabricator named Ted Haynes build this giant T-Rex head, and just a little trailer of what he was going to do, and I just fell in love right away. Signed up right away. I just ate that stuff up for a couple months. Watched that video, and I mean it's hours and hours of videos. I think that building that T-Rex head is 6, 7, 8 hours of teaching by an incredible, talented special effects artist that works currently in Hollywood, Ted Haynes. And about the time that I went to build Toothless, I couldn't find the materials because it's built with materials that are used in special effects and tennis shoes, and you can't just go to your local foam store and pick up L200. In fact, when I asked them, went to a store and said, hey, do you guys have any L200? They just scratched their head and was like, I've never heard of that. So I sent an email to the Stan Winston School. I think I have a, right here. Maybe not there. I sent an email to him to ask him where I could find the materials, and told him what I was doing. Right at that time, we had started our Kickstarter to raise money for Toothless and a Start Magic wheelchair, and it's time to build Toothless, and just wanted, where can I buy the materials? Told him what I was doing, told him my dream about Magic Wheelchair. They fell in love with Magic Wheelchair. And Wednesday they had a board meeting, and they just fell in love. They wanted to be part of Magic Wheelchair, and it's been incredible. So ever since, so they've been on board since the beginning. They've helped us get the word out. Matt Winston and Eric Litoff, they both serve on the board of Magic Wheelchair. They've been incredible. They offer all of our volunteers that come on board get access to the Stan Winston School, because we want our volunteers to have the tools and to have an enjoyable time and learn some skills that maybe they didn't have, and so they can create bigger, better, epic costumes, and also just to benefit themselves as they want to tinker and learn new skill sets. So it's been awesome to have the Stan Winston guys on board. So this was our first year. It was awesome. I had a hard time getting local builders, so we had builders from like the Quinjet there. That was a school that in California. He calls it the armpit of California. I don't know what the name of I can't remember the name of the town, but it's not on the coast. It's further inland. Lots of farmland and dust and dirt. But he drove up and delivered that costume. His students built this costume right here, the Quinjet, and then he drove it up. His name is Jeff Watamura. He started a monster after-school monster making program at his high school. El Diamante, I think, is the name of the school. But that he drove it up. He wouldn't even take any money. I'm like, hey man, let me pay for your gas. He's like, no, I just want to be part of this. And that's one of my favorite things about this is the amazing people that come on board that want to do something good just for the sake of doing something good. I love meeting the kids. I love talking with the families, and I love our volunteers. It takes a lot of time to do one of these, and for somebody to jump on board, give that much time, those are the type of people I feel honored and privileged to rub shoulders with. So we had a build team in California, Seattle. We did have some here in Portland. It was kind of spread out, and that was our first year. And actually, we had a hard time getting kids too, because we're small. People never heard of Magic Wheelchair. We thought we just had this pouring of kids, but I actually had to go out and find kids. But now we don't have that problem. Now we have so many kids that we have a waiting list, and we don't like that, because the cold reality is some of these kids aren't going to be around, and we want to build for them while we can. This slide, we love putting special effects into our builds, because the kids, their experience is on the inside, right? So we like having buttons and switches and whatever cool stuff they want to put in, we try our best to put in, like the pizza warmer for the Ninja Turtle van. I mean, that's a given. You can't build a Ninja Turtle van and not have a pizza warmer in there. and it came with pizza, and it was cool. It was awesome. So the way that we operate, we have local volunteers building for local kiddos. They go and meet the kiddo and the family, and it's their imagination, and then our whatever they want us to build, and then we figure out and we build it. You know, there's no instruction manual. It's your creativity. It's a combination of art and engineering. And it's been incredible to see this grow, and it's been awesome. So we talked about the Stan Winston School. All of our volunteers get access to the school. We have mentors that will help our build teams out. We point them as they let us know what they're going to build. We have, you know, thoughts of, hey, this would be a great material for that specific type of build. We also do monthly builders conferences. We really want to empower our volunteers to do something epic and make it so it's not as stressful and just enjoyable, and let them know that we're here for them. We also have our volunteers do some fundraising in their communities. It just makes sense. And what you find is that before you even get to an ask when you talk about Magic Wheelchair and what you're doing, people want to get involved. You know, we see this time and time again with our volunteers as they just reach out into their community and they just talk about what they're doing. It's not even an ask. It's just, hey, George, dude, I'm super excited. I got into this thing with Magic Wheelchair, and we're building this costume for this kid. And, you know, I'm super excited. And they talk about the story of Magic Wheelchair. People are like, dude, sign me up. I want to help out. I can weld, I can paint, I can, you know, get the word out. The people offer their time and resources, and it's been beautiful. And we've grown year after year. Again, for me, there's this pressure to build for these kiddos while we can. My daughter, she passed away just shy of her 3rd birthday, and I mean that's the cold reality, right? Of some of these childhood diseases, these kiddos aren't going to be around long. So, you know, my goal with my kids is always, let's cram as much epicness as we can in the time that we have, and create memories for them while they're here. And then also, we have memories when they're gone, and we've been able to do that a lot with a lot of families of creating these memories that they'll have when their kiddos pass. And it's been a privilege and an honor to be small parts in their lives. Is this thing in the way over here? Oh, this was 2017. This was at San Diego Comic-Con. We kind of just invaded San Diego Comic-Con. We did our reveal outside. The Hilton there was right next to the conference center in San Diego. It was fantastic. They let us grab a chunk of the corner of their property, and then this is just a public sidewalk. But we did Justice League. Justice League movie had just come out, and we wanted to put the Justice League together, so we did. Supergirl and Cyborg, Flash, Aquagirl. You know, we had to mix up some of the genders, but it was amazing. It was an amazing experience, and we brought on some incredible, talented volunteers. Adam Savage helped do the reveal. It was a great experience. In 2018, we went back and we built Star Wars, and that one. So 2017 was all local California kids. 2018, we wanted to bring kids from all over the country out and their families, and we did that, and it was awesome. I don't think I have any pictures of that on this particular slide. You know, this was awesome. The invisible jet. Adam was even like, how do you build an invisible jet? Well, that's how you do it. it's vacuum formed plastic, and then we built a box on the inside here and put in some mirrored tape. And I mean, I don't know how else you would build an invisible jet other than just tell people it's there. Don't worry about it. Just stay out of this area. But it was cool that Adam was impressed. And this was built by Matthew Stowers. He's up in Portland. He's been with us from the beginning, and I was able to help out with that build too. It was incredible. We get professional shops coming on board. Monster City Studios. They built Aqua Girl here. They've built a lot of costumes for us, and they're kind of our, hey man, this is James over here. I've hit him up multiple times. Hey dude, we have a build. Our builder just we've had a couple times where something happens to our builder. I mean, life happens, right? And these are volunteers, so we can't crack the whip and say, no, you got to get it done. I mean, we try, but you have to do that with love and compassion and empathy with their situations. And occasionally we've had a builder say, you know, either ends up in the hospital or life happens, and we've had to pull in Monster City Studios to, hey man, you got 2 weeks to do this. And they've done just incredible things. And Rushton, you talked about Comic-Con. That's been, gosh, guys, how much time have I taken up here?
Yeah, you're all right. All right. What we'll do is keep with the slides, and then what we'll do is we'll shift to questions and use your other pictures as background while we're doing the questions. Okay.
Comic-Con has been a huge thing for us. We love going to Comic-Cons. What we love doing is we love creating experiences for these kids where they become the superstar. They become the center of attention for a completely different reason than that they stand out because they roll around in a wheelchair. And Comic-Con is a beautiful fit for us. We've done lots and lots of Comic-Con reveals. This Jurassic Park, was done at Salt Lake City Comic-Con. I think they had to change their name because San Diego Comic-Con didn't like them using the term Comic-Con. Salt Lake City Expo or something is what they call it now. But this was incredible. This was Monster City Studios. This is one where I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks to pull this out, and we got to get it to Salt Lake. And they did it. The Velociraptor was actually done on ZBrush by an artist that just does incredible work. He donated the files for us, and then it was cut out in foam at Monster City Studios, and awesome, just incredible. Well, this was both the team and families of San Diego Comic-Con 2017. It's awesome. It's just one big, loving, happy family, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be in that crowd and be a small part of creating smiles and epic memories. And it's great. So again, our volunteers, local volunteers building for local kiddos. That's how we try to do it for the most part. We do have some volunteer teams that are willing to travel a couple hours, but we really try to keep it close. Again, we know people have lives and jobs and families, and we try to get kiddos that are close. So the way that we operate, people go to our website, they sign up to volunteer, magicwheelchair.org. You can also hit us up on Facebook, but we'll point you to our website where you can volunteer to build, or if you know a kiddo, or if you have a kiddo that's in a wheelchair, you can go there and also apply. And we get you on our list. We have a map. We have our volunteers up there. We have our kiddos, and we're able to connect the two. And we'll connect you, our volunteers, with the kiddo. If you want to take on a build, or if you want to be part of build, we'll see if we have a team in your area and get you going. And really, there is always something that we could use help with, from building to getting the word out to fundraising to computer work to helping us to come up with awesome imagery or edit photos or put together videos. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of things we can use to help grow and yeah, smooth out our operation. So if you're interested in helping out and doing something that's good and incredible, we'll use it. Let us know what you love to do, what you're passionate about doing, and we'll get you going. So volunteer, donate materials, time. Again, we do a lot of we encourage our build teams to do fundraising in their area. We create we have a fundraising platform through Classy where each team can create their own fundraising project for a kiddo. We'll have the kiddos page on there. We'll have the builders information, and so local people can go there and donate to local builds. All right, let me flip over to here. I feel like I went through that really quick, but
you're all good. And I know that Farheen needs to leave, and so I want to pass kind of the mic to her just for a first question, if she is still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. Hi. Thank you so much for your presentation. I'm so sorry that I have to run back to my volunteer shift. But wow, like not only were those pictures just phenomenal, like I want one. Like I really enjoyed it. And I guess, you know, one of my questions is where you mentioned like having a wait list, right? So how many children now do you have participating or like who want, you know, these kind of magic wheelchairs?
oh geez, I think we have. I mean, we've whittled it down. I think we probably have 300 kids on our list. In the last, since we started in 2015, we've built over, gosh, let's see, I'm going to do some quick math here. I think we built about 160 costumes all over the country. So we started out, our first year we did 7, our next year we did 25, the next year we did 50, this last year we did 85. 30 of those delivered the week of Halloween. So we're growing.
That is absolutely incredible, and I am so honored that you presented to us. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And sorry, I remember you saying you had to leave at 10:30. It didn't give you much time for questions.
No problem. That's okay. I will write questions in the comment section. So please, when we post it on our website, please take a look.
Thanks, Farheen.
Absolutely. Now, Roger and Nate, you know, kind of wave as you're ready to kind of do a question yourselves. I'll add this as well. We connected with the San Jose Downtown Rotary Club several years ago, and had one of their people present to us about the accessible playground that they built. They went into this kind of major kind of Mach speed effort to raise like several $1 million, right, to build this completely accessible playground. It's just this beautiful. I'll add that link in the info after the recording, along with a link to the Stan Winston School as well.
Yeah, check them out. It's incredible stuff. Definitely.
Nate, go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Ryan, for the presentation. That was great. It's nice to hear a little bit more of the backstory. I do remember back when the club had the Great Big Story on. I was really touched and really impressed. So, anyway, congratulations to what you've done here, you know, just for these, you know, kids and their families and that. So Rushton had me kind of help out with a little project that he's kind of got going. And I had both my grade 9 classes look at that magic wheelchair video on Great Big Story. And they were all moved. You know, they had to kind of write a response. What do you think about this? You know, what does that make you, you know, feel? And they were all just moving, like all of them. It was great. So my question is, being a school teacher, what kind of outreach or what kind of support are you getting from local schools? You mentioned one STEM school that you were working with. How are you leveraging, you know, schools that might have, you know, like a, you know, woodworking and auto shop and things like that?
You know, it's been awesome to work with schools, and this really is a perfect fit for like a STEM program or STEAM program. You know, I have a buddy who's a teacher at a STEAM school, and you know, he says oftentimes they run out of project ideas, you know, something that they can do year after year. And this is perfect. I mean, this will teach you, because it really is engineering and art, because and there's different aspects of it too. Like, you know, this has like been the holy grail for us, is coming up with a universal mounting system. That's like one of the first questions our build teams come up with is, how the crap do I mount this to the chair? And not all chairs are built alike, just like human bodies. You know, they're mostly, you know, powered wheelchairs are mostly going to be similar, but they're different enough that it's hard to come up with this holy grail of the universal mounting system. And you know, my buddy at this STEM school, that was one of the things that he wanted to get involved in. But you know, the school that I just talked about in Portland, we went down there, we did a presentation of essentially kind of what I went through with you guys, of who we are, what we do, and how that school could get involved both in building and getting the word out. So we, you know, we told them, hey, you know, I'll come up, help you guys. You know, I wouldn't always be able to do that. I would love to just travel around to schools and get schools going doing this type of stuff, because gosh, this is, if you can teach kids this aspect of life of doing something for somebody else just for the sake of showing love and care, I mean, that's huge, and that'll change the world. Those type of things, and being able to teach kids that is powerful. So I love getting schools involved, and that we can. I mean, the Stan Winston School, they love getting schools involved, and there's ways that we can work with the Stan Winston School and these schools to get these kids access to the Stan Winston School too. So we've worked with multiple schools. You know, our first year we had 2 different schools building for us, and they've built year after year with us. I guess that's a long-winded answer to a simple question. But we love working with schools, and we've done it before. It's just a matter of people having an interest, and let's figure out what your program needs. You know, we typically like to have at least 3 months to do a build. 6 months is ideal. But we can work with schools. Like, what's your program? What can your program support? And let's figure out how to get that into your school. So I'd love to work with you, Nathan. So you're a teacher?
I am, yeah. In Japan, though, at an international school.
Hey, man, let's build in Japan. I mean,
yeah, that'd be totally cool.
I'd love to do it. Oh, yeah. Let's communicate. Let's stay in touch, and let's. I mean, if this is something you're interested in doing and bringing it to your school, let's make it happen.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good. I could talk to my school and see what we can do. I'll leave my contact in the messages or comments.
And
okay.
I'll get you guys connected as well.
Yeah.
And while we're on that topic, by the way, quick shout out to the boys at Serra High School in San Mateo, as well as the students in the Sekolah Menengah Shikal, hope I'm pronouncing that properly, in Jakarta, that have taken part in the project we did based on that video that Nate was mentioning. Hey, Roger, do you have a comment or a question for us? You're still muted there. I think you did a double click there accidentally.
I'm amazed at the builds and the time that goes into the actual build, and the dedication by the people who do the builds themselves, because it's quite remarkable. And I'm very, very impressed with the quality of the builds and also the imagination that's gone into each and every one of them. It's quite remarkable.
It's so much fun. I mean, it really racks your brain to figure out how to create some of these things. Like Toothless, like crap, how the heck am I going to build that? But it's fun, and you know, we really want to push our build teams and empower our build teams and encourage them that they can do cool stuff. You know, like some of our volunteers will see some of these costumes and be like, "There's no way I can do that." Well, if I showed my past self toothless, and hey, dude, you're gonna build this, my past self would be like, "No, there's no way I could build that." But there is. I mean, it's just a matter of determination, a drive to figure it out, you know. And the great thing is we've built an army of volunteers, professionals to garage monkeys like myself that have learned things and love to share what they've learned. That's one of the beautiful things about the Stan Winston School, is these guys have been in you know, decades of working in special effects and have learned things along the way that they share and love to share with people that are interested in their craft. I mean, people love to share and talk about what they do and empower other people to do that same thing. And it's awesome to have that group here to support. So if you're nervous about doing something like this, it's okay to be nervous. You can do it, and we'll help you to do it. Well, we're here. We want you to have a enjoyable time doing it, and we want you to be able to create something epic and amazing for these kids.
So I think that toothless is actually just over your right shoulder. Is that right? Could you take a minute and tell us about the museum tour?
Yeah, that was awesome. So
and go ahead and stop sharing the screen so we can see that a little better.
Let's see how.
Top center somewhere.
Stop share. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, so I think it was probably 6 months, 8 months after Toothless hatched. You know, we had this museum. They did a show about disability and art, and just incredible things. They had everything from, you know, how to incorporate your prosthetic and beautiful things that people done with prosthetics and clothes, adaptive clothing, and they saw Toothless and, you know, it fit like a glove, and what they wanted to express and how people take their abilities and build on them and create beauty around it. And so yeah, he was at a school in Ohio, a college, a university, in their museum library, and he went from, because he was just going to be out on loan for a year, and then another museum got wind of it and the show, and they wanted to bring Toothless there. So he's been gone for about 2.5 years, and I mean he looks as good as he did when he left. They took really good care of him. But yeah, this is Toothless. This is, you know, what really helped Magic Wheelchair get off the ground. And what was really cool about this too is DreamWorks actually saw our Kickstarter, and they flew us out, and we were able to tour DreamWorks, and Keaton was able to do even a voiceover for a little chunk of a piece. And oh yeah, I love Toothless. I even like boxing Toothless up. I mean, you spend so many hours building these things that they really become part of you, you know? That's kind of cheesy, but I remember boxing them up and being like, oh man, hey buddy, I'm not going to see you for a while. But it was great to get them out there, to tell the story, and to tell the story of what people can do and circumstances to beautify the world around them and their own lives. You know, that's what you try to do. You bridge gaps. You have gaps in your life, and you figure out ways to overcome those. And in doing that, you can create beautiful things that impact other people. And you know, that's kind of the story of Magic Wheelchair is taking those challenges and those gaps and creating something beautiful out of that.
Well, I think people should know that, I mean, you know, you're making that happen is no small thing generally. You know, you mentioned that you're a nurse, but you work the graveyard shift. Is that right?
I do. Yeah. I work the graveyard shift. Yeah. And still function most of the time. Oh.
I'm impressed that you can make it most of the time, with that. That's fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
this morning when I looked at the little quote thing that came up on my kind of new web screen, it was from a woman I hadn't heard of named Dottie Boreyko. But the quote was, "Dream big dreams, small dreams have no magic."
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool
Yep.
stuff.
That is cool. I mean, and you should dream big, and you should aim big,
Absolutely. The goal for us, right? The goal for us as a club is to get these stories to people who otherwise wouldn't hear them. And so it's a pleasure to have the chance to see all of the wonderful images. We'll get lots of links into the program for people to see as well. I'll wind things down and then hand it over to you for a final comment. But to all of our members and guests, thank you so much for joining us this week and every week. We hope that you will do two things for us. First is to let us know you were here. There's a little form where you say, "I was here." And if you are a guest getting a makeup for a missed meeting at your own club, then if you properly type in your email address, you'll get an email that you can then take back to your club secretary, get that handled, all good. We all want to be 100% because Rotary is kind of like that. Should be. And then also leave a comment at the bottom. We've got all of these, kind of wildly cool things going on. It's just, today's program is just a perfect example of it. And so we hope you will let us know what you think and how you can get involved. After I saw the video, the Great Big Story video, I found your site and bought a T-shirt, and I bought a Magic Wheelchair. It's the coolest T-shirt I own, right? And I hope that everybody watching this will be like, I'm going to do the same thing, because why not? So with that, I'll finish things up and hand it back to Ryan. Ryan, give us the final word.
Well, whenever I wrap up we've done different presentations at Comic-Cons, and for me, I feel most at home when I'm worried less about myself and more about doing things for other people. And whether it's Magic Wheelchair or whatever passion that you have, nonprofits, organizations like Magic Wheelchair live and thrive off of people with big hearts that want to get involved. So find something to get involved in doing. We all have time that we can make out to do things outside of ourselves. So again, whether it's, we'd love for you to help Magic Wheelchair out, but we know that there's a lot of other organizations out there that do amazing and beautiful things, and get involved and help them out. Again, we live and thrive from people with big hearts getting involved. So find something that you're passionate about doing. There's an organization out there that's already doing that, and you can get involved. And no matter what you feel you can contribute, it helps. People always say, well, it's not much. It helps. If we have 1,000 people that say it's not much but they give anyways, that's huge. We have 100 people, it makes a difference. It allows us to do and keep growing. So find something, get involved. If it's Magic Wheelchair, we'd love to have you. Check us out. We're on Facebook, all the social media. I'm social media lame, so luckily we have Christine that does a great job. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter and Instagram, and then magicwheelchair.org. You can hit us up there, volunteer. And again, like I said earlier, there's so many ways that you can get involved with us. And we want to keep growing. Our mission is to build for every kiddo in a wheelchair, and we need help to do that. So get involved. Help us out.
Awesome. Thanks again, Ryan. And everyone, we'll see you next week.